Order. We do have a quorum present. At this time, if everyone would please rise for the pledges of allegiance to the American flag and Texas flag and remain standing for our invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. And our invocation will be brought by Kim Kimball, the founder of Hope Encounter Ministries of North Texas.
Would you bow with me? We come to you, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus with grateful hearts, thanking you for this great city, its leaders, and its citizens. We acknowledge that we are blessed with a rich history of faith and fortitude, with a future that is filled with promise and purpose. We pray for our mayor, our city council, and all boards who serve this city. Give them wisdom necessary to lead, the grace to unify us, and the strength to stand for what is honorable and right. While we know there are many challenges before us, guide us in discernment and give us what we need to persevere and thrive. Bind and heal wounds and divisions and join us together for your purpose. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Let your favor be upon this city. Glory to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, thank you.
All right. She said ignore that part.
I would like to just take a moment before we get started in our work session. The devastation that hit Kirk County has affected many people. I'm sure there's people within our city that had friends or relatives that were impacted by those horrendous floods. We need to keep the people in Kirk County in our prayers and thoughts. And we also need to keep the people that are down there trying to help them recover from this in our prayers and thoughts. There are a lot of scam artists down there. There are a lot of people that are trying to take advantage of these people. And we just need to make sure that we are covering them with the prayer that they need right now more than anything else. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. First item on our agenda is our work session. Item number 1, review and discuss questions related to the budget report for June 2025. Mr. Peacock.
There are no significant really details to bring up. I will tell you, if you haven't noticed, that all departments are operating within their budget. Nobody has spent more than they've been given. So everybody's doing very well with the budget for 75% of the year. And moving right along. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Any questions, anyone? Okay. Item number 2, discussion regarding results and feedback from the fiscal year 2025-26 budget priority survey.
We sent out a questionnaire that all of you responded back to, so thank you for that. And what we were trying to do was kind of get an update of where priorities were based on our the last time that we did a planning session, and kind of got that updated for you. We asked a few questions, one related to salary increases, and listed a couple of options, and the cost of those, the majority chose the 3% option. We talked about it increasing in permitting fees and other residential or other fees within the city, versus tax increases or to cover the cost of increase in services. So we got that response back, and then we asked you to identify top priorities, high priorities, and low priorities, as we have in the past. And so we got that stuff together, and we updated the plan, which is put in your packet. And unless there's some other things that need to be added to that, then that's what we're working on the upcoming budget for and working towards those items. And I think you've got the results for it was just a short, brief questionnaire. I think we have all that stuff put together. If you have any questions, we'll try and take them on.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Item number 3, discussion on potential bond opportunities for future capital improvement projects, including street improvements, police department facilities, and the relocation and or expansion of public works and parks operations. Okay, Mr. Peacock?
So one of the things that we've talked about in one of the work session items tonight is to talk about streets and improvements and upgrades and how that may lay out. Also, I think you handed me the wrong thing. Oh, here it is. So we put together one of the big things, obviously probably the biggest thing is street reconstruction projects. So we went through and identified in our capital improvements, the streets that were listed up for reconstruction for this upcoming year. And I just passed out something to you guys. These numbers have been updated, and you can see each of the streets, the amount of the cost for the street, and then to the right is the impact that would have on the tax rate. So if all of the streets that are identified, which is I believe 8 of them, we're talking about just $10,509,000, which would mean a little over 9-cent increase to the tax rate if all $10 million were sold and those projects were taken on. So that's one thing to look at. Also in this, and I've discussed with Alice and discussed with Marcy. And actually, I think Marcy got a little excited when I told her. I think our recommendation would be is if you opt to move forward with a bond election, which would obviously have to go to the voters for this, we've kind of been talking about November. I think we would recommend that we push that until May for a couple of reasons. One, there's a good chance we're already going to have another election in May anyway, because we have council members termed out. So I expect we're going to be doing it. And we're talking about a pretty significant savings with one election versus 2. The second part of that is it would give us more time to better research these numbers, make sure that there aren't things that we haven't seen, to give us a better chance to tighten that up, to make sure that we don't undercut it or we don't over project it, and it would give us more time for some due diligence to prepare for that. And the third part is we would recommend that if we move this to a bond election, that we, rather than do just one, say, blanket $10 million bond for streets 1 through 8, that we itemize each street, the amount of that street, and what the tax impact would be, so the voters can vote on each project on its own merits and not all just ones. We'd actually divide it up into 8 different option 1, option 2, where they could vote on each specific street that's identified. So that is kind of the first part of this. I would also tell you that I don't think that we would just say that it went to the voters and all of the projects were approved. We would not issue all of that debt all at once. I think we would be wise to break it up, not try to have that many streets, that many projects going on at the same time. But I think the billing process and the inspection process would overwhelm the staff with that big of a project. So we're probably talking about maybe half of them in 1 year and half in the next. That could help us a little bit from looking at our debt service. the way our debt service is structured, we will be, um, paying off some of the debt service, over time. But it's not a huge amount. Between now and 2030, we're only talking about retiring just under $2 million in debt service. And so when you're talking about a $10 million bond, that's not a huge amount. That's only going to be a couple of cents. And it roughly, for every $1 million we issue, it's about a penny on the tax rate. It's based on our preliminary numbers now. That's what we've seen. So we're obviously a long ways off from doing this. And if it's something that we want to pursue, or at least continue to look at, then we'll put together a timeline and start putting together, get some dates, some target dates in mind, what we need to do as far as engineering and making sure these are the correct streets. Just give us time to reevaluate this stuff in-house and then tighten up our numbers. The other part of this is that in that survey, we talked about some of the other projects that are going to require funding, and we're talking about public works, the relocation of public works, the relocation of parks and rec, the police department. All of those things are things that could potentially or would potentially need to go before the voters. And so we've really not begun to put a lot of those numbers together, but if it's your desire to take a serious look at that, then we will start that process as well. Just kind of want to hear from you guys. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot of money. And it's possible that we may not want to bite off that much of the cookie right now either, because it is a lot of money. And with, as conservative you guys have been with the tax rate, as with everybody's sick of property taxes. I get it. But one of the biggest complaints we're getting is street conditions. And although the last 2 times we've put this out to the voters, it's been denied, until there's another mechanism for funding these streets, then we have to keep trying, because the problems don't go away when they say no. We still have those problems. Kristen's guys are wildly overwhelmed with street repairs. They're keeping up as best they can. And they're not getting any better, and they're not going to get any better, especially with populations increasing like they are. And so it has to be on the radar. And I believe with that, if you guys have specific questions that we can talk about.
Like, you have any questions?
Just a food for thought on separating the bonds out. I would seriously think about it long and hard, because I don't want a street that may be underrepresented to be voted out. Basically, everybody say no to this street so that we can get our street over here. You've got majorities on some of these streets that hold a lot of people. So they might get voted for quickly, and they'd say no to the other smaller streets or lesser traveled streets. So we need to be cautious with that. Maybe bundle some, or
We could. I mean, it's one way. The last 2 times we've just had one number to list of streets, and
right.
so that's why we're looking at something different. So, and we could look at it.
Just to keep that kind of a thought in mind, because I think if we have a small street like St. Paula, for instance, there's not as many people that are really impacting that street.
Well, see, that's the problem when you take a street like Paula, because there's not but 15, 20 houses on it, but it is a heavily traveled road.
It is a heavily traveled street.
I mean,
Right.
And it's in bad shape, and
So it gets that beating, but they might say no.
I agree.
So it's just something to think about.
Well, some of the people that live on it, they may not want to put up with the mess. So I mean, I get it, because it's messy to do, but all of these streets carry a fair amount of traffic. They're either cut throughs or they're feeders into something else, and so that's part of what Kristen uses when he puts these things together is, how many people are served by the street, what the traffic counts are, and it's a pretty good little formula that does this condition rating.
Yeah. I know how tough that is.
I mean, I agree with both of you guys. I mean, I think we need to find a common ground as far as, lump summing some to get get the ones that we need taken care of and get the vote at the same time. I think we look at that both ways. I'm with both of you guys. I mean, I think
Well,
we need.
and there's
I think we
nothing to
need
say too that maybe we don't do, maybe we pitch 4 this year. And we come back next year or in 2 years and try more. I mean, anything that we can do is gonna help, but, um, we've got to find a way to break through because kicking the can down the road is just not working. And it's only getting more and more expensive to fix.
Eventually have to face it.
Yes, sir.
I'd look at prioritizing or bring the information to us so that we could prioritize based on the traffic counts and understanding the cost involved. And then if we are going to split them up, I would personally rather see that we split them up as far as presenting them to the voters at different points. Because if we're not planning on doing all of the work within the same year, then, let's put one batch in front of them, next May and then the following, after that. Because I think I agree with Mike significantly that you're going to run the risk of people who are maybe living in that area that would hope to have their street, repaired, not having the impact because because there's a higher population in another area. I think we need to look at them and prioritize based on use and,
We can do that.
which ones are the most deteriorated and kind of figure out how to block them.
And I think moving it to next May instead of November is the best
Good idea.
idea as well.
Yeah.
Although I did find out coming in that Mr. Kidd is not term limited this time around. He is eligible for another
Oh,
term.
well,
So,
more punishment, maybe. That's fine.
Didn't say I was running.
well, I said you were eligible. I didn't say you were running. And I know if I'm looking at a bond or something and you tell me it's going to be $9.11 increase, I'm gonna,
No, it's actually 9 cents.
or 9 cents.
Kind of in the wrong spot there. It's a typo.
I would choke pretty hard on that.
You don't want to go up $9?
No, I don't want you to go up 9 cents, but, I think if we do split it up, like, Shelley suggested, hey, we're gonna do these this year, then the next year go back and do another bond election for the next group. I think that's a smarter way to do it. So, does that give you the direction that you were requesting?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. So that took care of items 3 and 4. Item number 5, discussion of code enforcement issues on South Broadway. Mr. Peacock.
Sure. We have our code officer here also that can maybe give some more insight on it. He has addressed some of the issues, and he can give you the background.
Good evening.
Specific question?
I think what brought this was the travel trailer,
Being
it's been
sold.
being sold on the side of the road.
Car lot.
Yeah, the car lot there. So that was one of the things that we were gonna bring answers and questions. I know he's had some conversation with them.
I noticed they kind of limited it down a little bit. There's less there.
But they're still there.
One.
Yeah.
One's been there.
And they're out there looking at it like they're telling them they're for sale.
Yeah.
So, they're not advertising out in front, but, so have you talked with the owners there and?
Yeah, the gentleman that lives there is the renter, not the property owner. So I did send him a notice about 4 weeks ago, about his sales. Whether it was marketing 3-wheeler Harley Davidson classic vehicle, anything that's considered motor vehicle, was not allowed to be sold on that lot unless they were registered. And I believe that was the trigger for him not to continue to sell because, as suspected, they weren't in his name. So he asked to momentarily store one particular RV he had there in a different lot, which is behind the Italian restaurant, which is the same property owner of the home that owned that lot. He was granted a few days while he, according to Mr. Jeremy, that they would be transported to his warehouse office, whatnot, in Fort Worth. A few days went by and then we later saw two more recreational vehicles on that lot. So that was quickly addressed, along with the home-based business, because he had really committed to removing the entire recreational vehicles off of the residential lot and the adjacent lot after a final notice by the code enforcement department that the residential lot was cleared in addition to the adjacent lot. And I was off for a week and came back. I asked Mr. Jeremy for clarification, and his response was that that is his personal RV that he was going to clean, both inside and outside. I was not offered any verification documentation whether it's his or not. The only thing I can comment is that it has Oklahoma plates, which wouldn't prohibit him from owning the RV. However, the two jet skis that were on the one trailer are now gone.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along, updates from the mayor, council members, and updates from city staff members. City staff members have any updates they want to give us? Alice, what have you been up to?
New software, public information software. It is absolutely amazing. Sorry. It's absolutely amazing. It's worked with each department. Of course, I mainly work with the police department, and they got it down immediately. It's very easy to use, and it communicates with the requester. And so it's getting everything out really quick to them.
You got anything? Speak up.
That's next. No, I think y'all heard enough for me today.
Okay.
Oh, no, we haven't.
Brittany, would you mind giving us a little update on our police officer?
I can't say a whole lot. He is still recovering in the hospital. So now I've been out of bed a little bit. So
Please keep Officer Martin in your prayers. So, anybody else have anything? Well, last Friday, I went to a, gosh, I guess you call it a little mixer up in Burleson. And we got a legislative update from our state rep, Ms. Kerwin, who happens to be here this evening with us, and our state senator, Mr. King. A lot of stuff happened down in Austin, and they are getting ready to head back for more fun. Mr. Peacock and I did meet with the county judge and one of our county commissioners concerning our animal shelter and some options that we're looking at and dealing with them, and hopefully we'll be getting some updates on that shortly. I've been involved with a couple of phone calls with TxDOT concerning our railroad grade change over here at 917. And I wasn't in on the last little update thing that came through. I hadn't had time to check it all out. But hopefully we're getting some movement going that direction. 2032 to let the bids on that just is ridiculous. And we're trying to see if we can't kick them in the shin and get something else going. I am talking to a couple of people on the COG and the regional transportation group and seeing if we can't find some way of getting this project prioritized through them for us. So it's been kind of a hectic little month with all that and everything. So if nobody else has anything, We'll move into our public forum, presentation and recognitions. We do have one person signed up. Um, If any of you have not had the pleasure of meeting Miss Jamie Jones, she is an awesome lady who cares very much about our law enforcement and first responders. And the Johnson County Pioneer and Old Settlers Reunion, they have in Alvarado every year. If you get a chance to go down, you need to go see it. It's a neat little thing. And the presentations made to police officers and firefighters down there, some of them are very moving events. And she does an excellent job. So, Miss Jamie, the floor is yours. You having Kleenex for?
That's not a halo, I promise you. Mayor, city council, officers, everyone. I missed you guys last month. I'm sitting in the parking lot. Where is everybody?
Sorry about that.
So here we are. I said I went ahead and passed everything out last month. Alice made sure that everybody got it. But I said I cannot get by with not seeing one of the two places I really enjoy going. So with that being said, back to earth. We kick off with the parade on Wednesday, 27th. I want everybody to be there. I want everybody to be there with bells and whistles and have a good time. I tell our chief of police every year I want it bigger and bigger, and he said, we only have this much road. Well, we can always make a circle. So, but we'll line up for that on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And then we go right into the reunion with the Queen contest. So we've got anyone who has a young lady 15 to 21. The winner gets a $1,000 scholarship to any VOTEC school she wants to go to or any college after she graduates. The second and third get $250 each. And it's just a good way to boost school anymore. Even VOTEC is even out of my price range. So that will happen on the first night. And then Thursday night, we have the baby contest. And the funny thing is I started emceeing this a few years ago, and it's really hard to keep my composure because when I see those babies coming across the stage, I also seen their mother and their grandmothers come across the stage. And I'm like, golly, I'm getting old. We have a blast with that one. Friday night, we have the fiddle contest. And this year, last year, we lost a major player in our fiddle world, Jesse Mears. We're gonna be paying tribute to him on Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday at 4 o'clock, once again, I'm humbled, this year's been hard. Our police officers and our firemen, our women, they're just stretched. It hits me in the heart. And so anytime that we have the opportunity to say thank you, shake their hands, give them a hug, offer them a prayer, I'm right there on the front lines. So it's something that I look forward to. It's something that's hard for me at some points because I can't look when I'm talking. I admittedly lose my composure. But that will be at 4 o'clock this year. And once that's done, of course, we'll open up with the concerts. This year, Johnson County residents, I think they moved to Fort Worth, shame on them, but Sonny and Jody Burgess will be our opening acts this year, and then Jamie Richards will close out the concert that night. But each night, the carnival is open from 5 to 10 on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday it's open till 11. If you have any questions or you want to participate in any one of those, in that packet I handed out last month, there's every kind of information in there. I have a blast playing and doing this. This is our 133rd year. So I hope to be around for 150, but I know my time will come in just like everybody else's. Shoo, go away. But until that time, I'm going to be every city council meeting, and Ms. Kerwin knows when I told her that the last time, she goes, "You go to all of them?" Yes, I do. And this is one of my favorite ones to go to because you touch my heart every time you smile. So I'm going to hand you these brochures. We finally got these in, and we didn't have those when I was here last month.
Thank you.
So there's information in there. If you guys need anything, just reach out. And
Thank you,
for
Jane.
all you do.
She puts on a heck of a program down there. It's a good job. Okay, at this time, we are going to have a recognition. Mr. Peacock?
Thank you, Mayor. About 18 months ago, Aaron came in my office and talked about some other opportunities, and he would like to move more towards moving towards city management versus where he was in development services, and asked about what I guess thought about that, and that I have recommendations for him. And one of the things that I suggested to him was that he take a look at the Certified Public Manager Program. It's a nationally recognized training program for local government officials that arguably is equally sought after as a master's degree in public administration. It's a little over a year long, very detailed, very targeted program that educates people in the human resource field and public finance and just all the different aspects of what we do here on a daily basis. So Aaron made application to that program. He was accepted into that program. And last month, the mayor and I were fortunate enough to get to travel to Austin and watch him graduate at the Capitol. And I've already seen an improvement in him since he started. That was largely part of the basis that he was considered to move up to the assistant city manager spot. He had put the time in. He completed his bachelor's degree. He completed this program here and certainly earned the right to prove himself, and so far has done very well. I'm very happy with the stuff that he's done, the things he's taken on. And so we wanted to recognize him tonight. What I didn't tell him when we talked about the Certified Public Manager Program was that when he finished it, we got an opportunity to embarrass him a little bit, like they did me in 2010 when I went through it. And so I think, Mayor, I think you have something for him, and I think Mrs. Kerwin as well. But get up, boy.
Right there in front. Plaques for Aaron Maldonado, Assistant City Manager. With great pride and appreciation, the city of Johnston recognizes your successful completion of the Texas Certified Public Manager Program. This achievement is a testament to your unwavering commitment to ethical leadership, professional excellence, and a deep dedication to public service. Your pursuit of growth not only elevates your own path, but also ensures those around you and inspires those around you and strengthens the future of our city. Thank you for leading with integrity, vision, and heart, City of Johnston 2025. Hey.
Nice to meet you. On behalf of the Texas State House of Representatives, I would like to give you this certificate in recognition of completion of the Texas Certified Public Manager. Congratulations. You're so welcome.
You can edit the bunny fingers off the tail, can't you?
You coming down for Johnson County Day? What's your solution for you? And keep with me,
That'll be. Sure.
legislative. Y'all ready to talk a little legislature?
Send it back.
So we,
Just together.
just
Oh.
completed session 89, and, there, I went ahead, 340 days, I was on the public ed committee and culture and tourism committee. So I took notes every time we were in session, every time we took a vote. The House passed 5,852 bills. 2,437 of those made a hearing, made a committee. 1,186 actually got put on the calendar. 900 and something went over to the Senate. But here's the good news. With as many bills as we filed, the Senate did almost 3,000. It was a record session. The governor signed 1,155. So I learned that our Texas government is actually pretty darn good. That we really, really are careful with our laws. We don't pass so many laws. We don't meet every year, but we're really, really careful. We have some good legislation that got through this session. And I'm just gonna do a quick rundown on the good bills. What went well, what didn't go well, what should have passed, and hopefully will pass. This will be known, of course, as the most historic school choice session in the history of Texas. And I'll get into that in a little bit. The bill that we passed, not only is it known as school choice, but it's known as the teacher bill, because we recognize that's the way that we think we need to go to improve. But what really went well, our border security bill, where we actually passed a law where the border groups, Border Patrol, DPS, National Guard, can all work together. They couldn't do that before. Now they have the authority to work together. Hostile foreign nation bill, I call the China migrant bill. We passed a bill that prevents any of the 4 terrorist countries that we consider the biggest threat, Iran, China, North Korea, and Russia, from purchasing any Texas land in our state. It is the strongest foreign hostile bill in America. Grid security, we've passed a bill to protect critical infrastructure. It's a new study on the new drone warfare that we're witnessing every day. 10 Commandments bill, every school room in the state of Texas will post the 10 Commandments. Election integrity, now if there are any suspicious or fraudulent activity on our polls, we can go to the Secretary of State. It's not going to be buried within the polls and the local government. Bad bills, there were a few. The number one, I think, worst bill, other than our massive budget growth, was the stunning misuse of your tax dollars in supporting the Hollywood film industry coming to Texas to film their films in our state. And we are actually committed to $500 million a year for 10 years. Student loan giveaways, we're using tax dollars to pay student loans off. Attempt to advance the LGBT agenda. It passed the House, it was killed in the Senate. And of course, our massive budget. Those were the 4 I consider worst bills, which should have passed. And I'm hoping this will be passed in the next session. Proof of citizenship to vote. Ban on taxpayer funding lobbyists. Ban on drag queen storytime hour. Library pornography ban. Election integrity, we'll take it a little bit further. Repeal of the STAR test. And the CAD board majority elected candidates. I hope those will get passed. The biggest, like I told you, the biggest success story has been our school bills. Let me just write down quickly what we decided to do for our teachers. $4.2 billion alone will go to their raises. Now keep in mind, this is not out of property taxes, this is not gonna affect you. This is out of the general revenue, the oil and gas, and the surplus fund. Every eligible teacher will see a raise in our schools. The target of his support is to retain our teachers, the ones in the rural school districts who often leave for better paying jobs than the urban. We are going to reward those teachers in Joshua that have been teaching for 5 years or more an $8,000 raise. Not a bonus. That is a permanent raise for them. For the teachers that have stayed in the rural districts for 5 years or more, they will get a $3,000 raise. Permanent pay raise for the teachers for 3 plus 5 years. Teacher incentive allotment expands eligibility for our new educators. We're trying to recruit as well as retain. This is the exciting one. Performance-based pay for top performing teachers, where they can eventually earn 6 figures. We are going to award them, and we are going to give them a $3,000 mentorship bonus if they will mentor the new teachers. $135 million for teacher prep and certification programs. We heard certified teachers, the kids come out of those classes with a lot better results than the non-certified teachers. So we're going to help teachers that are not certified get certified. Fully funds pre-K. One of the most important things I learned this session is that these studies are proving that if a student does not read by the 3rd grade, 8 years old, their success rate as an adult drops by 50%. So we went ahead and we decided to fully fund pre-K. $677 million for early learning and $153 million for CTE, which is an awesome program. I learned about that a lot. We are bringing in a literacy and a numeracy program for these K through 8 students and for the teachers. That is where our ratings and our rankings have slipped drastically. We are creating a new math training for programs for K through 8 teachers, $430 million for school safety, $300 million for small and mid-sized schools as well as the teachers. Charter schools, $850 million to overhaul special ed. So this new funding package is not just going to the school districts, it is going as line items in their budget. So it can't be moved around. We drew the line in administration. Everything we heard, almost everything we heard in all of these 91 hours of testimony is that we have to focus on our teachers if we're going to change public education. So this is a start with this session, again, not affecting our property taxes. So with that, I don't think you're all out Q&A, but if you do have any questions for me, please reach out. I would love to meet with you or instantly email it. I have a few cards I'm going to leave. Our property tax relief. We're going to get to elimination, I promise. But the Senate and the House each formed a committee, first time ever, and they met together. They came up with the biggest relief package ever, which I know is not elimination, but it's a start to elimination. So I think that maybe the next session will be if we get to, just got some great information on it. This about the China land grab, a foreign hostile takeover, the laws that we got those for that. And the governor, you all know, has started a call for the special session on Monday. We're all going down. There are 18 bills that they're good bills that we're going to debate and hopefully get through. So I'm looking forward to that. But I will leave you with the good and the bad. And again, thank you for letting me update you on your annual session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask?
No, sir.
Fine.
When I was busy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the J-Sun.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the J-Sun.
All right, moving right along, we'll get into our consent agenda. We do have 5 items on there. Do we want to discuss any of them or do we want to vote on them as a package?
On this package.
Package?
Okay, putting them together.
Okay, thank you, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we take the consent agenda as an entire package.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion by Merle, seconded by Dakota to take the consent agenda as a complete package. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, I'll take the motion then to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Kidd, seconded by Dakota to accept the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, moving into our regular agenda, item number 1, discuss, consider, and possible action on the appointment of a mayor pro tem for a 1-year term. I would like to move that we just continue to have Mr. Kidd as the mayor pro tem at this time.
Why is that?
Oh, you want to do it?
Oh,
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so, motion by me, seconded by Merle, to have Mr. Kidd serve another 1-year term as our mayor pro tem. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 2, public hearing on a request for a zoning change regarding approximately 5.908 acres of land in the McKinney and Williams Survey, abstract number 636, County of Johnson, Texas, located at 965 County Road 705, to change from A Agricultural District to R1 Single Family Residential District. Mr. Maldonado.
Mayor and council, the property is currently unplatted and consists of approximately 5.908 acres. The property is zoned agricultural, which has a 2-acre minimum lot size requirement. The applicant intends to subdivide and sell a 1.5 acre portion of the property. The current agricultural zoning does not allow a lot of this size. Rezoning to R1 is consistent with surrounding development patterns and the future land use plan. Utilities and infrastructure appear to be available or can be extended to support the proposed use. And the staff recommends approval. Also, the Planning and Zoning Board has made the recommendation for approval of the zone change during the July 7th meeting of 2025.
Okay, is the owner present? Would you like to say anything?
I mean, I'm just trying to sell this acre and I have to pay off, or I can build my house on the other 4 acres that's left. When I was here last week, they said that something about making a subdivision, and that's not what my intentions are. You just sell that acre and a half so I can build my house.
Okay, is there anybody here to speak in favor? Anybody speak against? Do you want to rebut that? Bad joke. Okay. So at 7:20, we're closing the public hearing. Okay, item number 3, discuss, consider possible action on an ordinance approving a zoning change regarding approximately 5.908 acres of land in the McKinney and Williams Survey, abstract number 636, County of Johnson, Texas, located at 965 County Road 705, to change from A Agricultural District to the R1 Single Family Residential District. So, anybody have anything they wish to say?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept a motion.
Make a motion to approve the change to R1.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mike, seconded by Dakota to accept the abstract change or the zoning change as requested. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 4, discuss, consider possible action on approving an ordinance amending Chapter 13, Article 13.04 of the Code of Ordinances to add a new Division 4, Post-Construction Stormwater Management, and renumber existing sections accordingly. Mr. Maldonado.
Mayor and council, the TCEQ requires the city of Joshua as a regulated small municipal separate storm system, MS4, to implement a stormwater management program under the TPDES Phase 2 General Permit. One of the key components of this program is the implementation of enforceable mechanisms to control post-construction stormwater discharges. This proposed ordinance fulfills that requirement by establishing minimum standards for post-construction stormwater control, long-term maintenance of permanent best management practices, and a framework for inspection, enforcement, and compliance. The ordinance adds a new Division 4 to Article 13.04 of the Code of Ordinances titled Post-Construction Stormwater Management and renumbers the existing enforcement division. Key elements include performance standards, requires permanent BMPs to maintain post-development runoff conditions as close as possible to pre-development levels. It mandates long-term maintenance responsibilities be clearly defined and linked to the property deed. It establishes inspection protocols, timelines for correction of deficiencies, and penalties up to $500 a day for noncompliance, and holds current and future owners accountable for ongoing performance and upkeep of stormwater facilities, including detention ponds. Staff recommends approval of this ordinance as presented to ensure compliance with TCEQ requirements and to support the city stormwater infrastructure and water quality objectives. And attached, I have the ordinance and also the stormwater operation and maintenance agreement and the detention pond maintenance checklist.
Does anybody have any questions?
Aaron, does this have mostly to do with subdivisions, or does it affect single use?
It would also carry on to
Single, like a individual
commercial properties.
commercial properties, but not individual, non-commercial properties. Like say my house, if I did work on my house, am I under the same laws and requirements?
I don't believe it.
Stormwater.
It would address like a residential person. This is mainly for like subdivisions and the commercial properties.
Okay.
Anybody else? The part in here about the retention pond maintenance and all that, is that from this point forward, or is it retroactive to existing ones?
It would not be retroactive. It would only pertain to moving forward.
For newly built ones, but what about as far as keeping debris and all of that out of
Our current ones?
current ones?
We do have some tools that we could use for that. I believe Kristen can add to that.
For the current situation, I mean, as far as enforcement with the existing would be, you know, we would go by and ask them, and most of them are glad to clean them out home, or, you know, help out in any way that they can.
You should go ask Mockingbird to clean theirs out.
Yes, and once that gets I can definitely ask the developer, because they are responsible at this time, so.
They haven't turned the HOA over to us, so it's still the developer, so we don't have any. There's
Correct, I could definitely send an email if you've been compliant with that.
So some of these ones that have been around for years that are all silted in, that are no longer effectively working as detention or retention ponds, there's nothing we can do about that to get them to bring them back to a proper depth, or?
because this is just an amendment. We have some sort of ordinance in place. I mean, some level of ordinance in place, right?
Correct, but it's very, you know,
Vague.
vague, I guess.
Well, my understanding was this new one would give us a little more teeth to enforce it and get things done. But we've got detention ponds that have been here for years.
They're basically grandfathered.
Yeah. So it's all grandfathered in. We've got nothing we can do to get silt removed and get them back to actually retaining the amount of water they're supposed to before it's released.
That's correct. The only tools we really have available now are code enforcement type of tools. And so that's why that's not effective. And some of the Texas COG has recommended cities adopt this. I think TSEC's requiring as well too, to address some of those issues that we don't really have enforcement and making it like the silting. Our code, our typical code enforcement doesn't address that. Rubbish, debris, things of that nature, we can address with tall weeds and grass in areas, but this goes a lot more than a step forward and try and give us other mechanisms by which to go after those issues with detention and retention ponds.
Thank you.
Well, I think what Shelley was referring to is that what we passed a few years ago that requires for residential subdivisions, the detention facilities, the HOAs have to take those on. And so this is going to help us with commercial development where you've got small ones on commercial property that are largely unregulated. We're not really having a lot of trouble with the HOA owned ones because, and I think everybody works with Kristen when they reach out to them. This just gives us a little, gives us where we keep them operating like they're supposed to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt this.
I'll make a motion, what is this,
Approve.
an ordinance? I make a motion, we approve the ordinance amending chapter, is this the right one? Chapter 13,
Yes.
Article 1304 of Code Ordinances to add a new Division 4 post-construction stormwater management and resume existing sections accordingly, in renumbering existing sections accordingly.
Okay, I'll second. I've got a motion by Shelley, seconded by Mike to accept or approve the ordinance amending chapter 13, article 1304 of the Code of Ordinances and fixing the numbering as we need to. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, item number 5, discuss, consider a possible action on the execution of a municipal lease agreement for the Spartan pumper truck. Miss Marcy.
Okay.
For the truck that we did for the December meeting. And we're supposed to receive it in August, and this is funding to finance that truck. Went through the same leasing financing company as we did on the previous truck, which we financed in for our truck, I believe. Use Sourcewell contract pricing through it. And the amount's just over $1 million that we're financing at interest rate of a little bit over 5%. With 7 annual payments of $181,000, $181,553.88 a year.
Questions? It's a good looking fire truck. So, okay, I'll accept a motion.
I make a motion that we accept item number 5 as written.
Okay, got a motion by Dakota, seconded by Shelley to execute the municipal lease agreement for the Spartan pumper truck. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, staff reports. Chief,
Yes.
how are we doing in the police department?
We're working on several applications right now. Have several people out on family medical leave, babies, injuries, and what have you. So it's been a stress. But, even short the number of people that we are, we've managed to increase traffic stops by 36% here in the second quarter. So we're making it. We'd like to do better, and when we get all our spots filled, I think we'll do much better. Having training
for the Citizens on Patrol, July 22nd, so that program is moving along. So we're still accomplishing some things, but not near as much as I would like to. But we'll get there.
I know you're down 2 officers for sure because of the injuries.
Yes.
And then we,
2 officers out on maternity leave. Of course, we're seeking applicants for 2 positions. And Miss Gina's down, which is a key player in our organization, so that's.
how's she doing?
She's doing fine. She just, I said it to you, Brittany, she got released to do 2 hours of work per week. Which is key, because she does, criminal reporting to the state and federal government, and, she has the monopoly on that at the moment. So she'll come in and help us with that. Of course, she runs criminal justice information systems too. So there's been some key positions that we've been struggling with, or we'd be a lot further than we are right now. But we're holding our own.
Thank you for the update. Kristen, how's things going in Public Works?
Things are going great. Have an update on Thomas Street, with the weather behind us. And, the contractor was able to make it out this week and, excavated it, and we're gonna get ready to stabilize it. Lay down a mat and, you know, hopefully polish things up and get it done here for people.
I've gotten a couple of calls about some potholes at different places around the city, and I drove by to look at one, and I saw where the patch had been put in, the cones were up and all that. I know you guys were working with what you got. You're doing as good as you can, so thank you very much. So I was able to call the person back and say, it has been filled. Don't be griping. So, but it's been tough with all the rain we've had, because every time you get something fixed, it just washes it right back out. So
Exactly. It's been a brutal year. It's been a challenge.
well, you're doing a great job. So anything new in developmental services?
No, we had a developer who was thinking about doing the Tignall and Perkins property, but has now or since backed out. But we have, as a matter of fact, the same developer who did Mockingbird 1 and 2 is looking into maybe developing that property. So, and he's been a good developer, so hopefully we can get him started.
Tell him you'll let him do that if he'll come finish the sidewalks.
In which, in Heritage 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are in, I believe in Kristen's,
Yeah, they're in the CIP. I just don't know why they did Mockingbirds, but they didn't do Heritage, so.
that was from the previous city manager decision.
It's a thorn in my side.
Code enforcement, how you doing?
Doing. Yeah, we're doing great, sir. Although we had to abate 8 properties. One of them was significant, 200 Wayside Street. That was the taking up a lot of yard waste, which was a lot of tree branches, 2 piles that were approximately 3 to 4 feet tall, about 5 feet wide. So that was quite an undertaking for the lawn care professional, which had to make various trips to the Cleburne landfill, pay their fees, come back and get some more. It's unfortunate that 3 of the 8 properties, not including Wayside, were abated because the person that lived there passed away and didn't have any family members. At least that's what the neighbor told us. So those properties may need future abatement in a few months. Once all this starts growing after all the rain. Otherwise, everything's.
Right. Thank you. Okay, nobody's here from Animal Services. City Secretary. I have been so pleased with the newsletter that's been going out, especially the business highlight. And you were talking about some plans that you have to do with that. Would you mind filling us in on that?
With the business highlight, I'm working with Nora. We're doing great together, I think. Of course, it goes out in the newsletter, and then on social media, like the Taco Al 100, it got almost 26,000 views on it. And each business is doing just as good on it. And now we're going to start this coming week with our billboard. We've both had training on it. We're going to highlight the business of the week for 1 week up on that billboard. So we're hoping not only will it help them, but maybe they do really good, they may want to advertise with Billy Tolson for that. Yeah.
You're not on the list, Miss Nora, but what's going on with economic development?
Everything's been great. We are working very hard with our business spotlight. It's been a little difficult just trying to get that information from some of our businesses, but once we hold their hand and get them a list of kind of what we need to highlight them, they are very excited and receptive to the idea of being advertised for free, basically. We are working hard with different businesses and keeping them and helping them grow. Other than that, much more.
I know you've been busy getting around and visiting the businesses and getting people to know that the city is paying attention and wanting to know what we can do to help them grow their business and keep them happy here.
Yes.
Appreciate that very much. So I enjoyed our lunch with American Steel Carport today too.
Yes, we are working hard with American Steel Carport right now, and we will see them grow.
So, are you in contact with the Chamber of Commerce and utilizing them and vice versa?
We are in contact with them. They are very busy right now.
Very
So,
busy, understaffed, I'm sure.
So that hasn't really picked up much, but we are working, just city staff and highlighting businesses and working with the downtown businesses, trying to see what we can do to, organize different events downtown to help bring business.
Well, I know that most small cities, the Chamber of Commerce is like the little diamond in the rough that you see. I just spent some time in down around the hill country, went through a little small town that had a old rundown old downtown, but they actually had buildings that didn't get torn down. Unlike Joshua, they had this cute little storefront that was their Chamber of Commerce and had little, nice little sign and everything. And it just made me think of ours that has struggled for the last several years to get its momentum built back up. And it would be nice if we could work together with them to continue to build them up, because they, in my eyes, you might correct me on this, but the Chamber of Commerce really pulls all the businesses together to work together for the greater good, which is going to help the development side too, because it'll encourage other businesses to come in too. So just a thought to keep that in mind, to try to maybe encourage them to rejoin the Chamber of Commerce if they're not with the chamber, and to get to utilize that. And also our facade improvement grant that we have too. So
Yeah, so as I'm visiting with businesses, I am giving them that information. I think right now, just with the chamber being in the position it is in, we are really trying to work together just step up
Yeah.
to fill in that position that the chamber has previously taken in
Yeah.
helping the businesses.
Good. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for any of the staff members? Okay, at this time, we are going to skip the executive session that's on the agenda. We are going to put that off for probably at least a month. And we didn't get any, so that's why we got to put it off. So at that point, then we're up to any request for future agenda items. Anybody? I would like to have an update from the chamber that we were promised quarterly that we have not gotten since they made the promise. So I would like to see that on our next agenda, please. So if nobody has anything else in future agenda items at 7:43, this meeting is adjourned. All right.